And then if you've driven an old Falcon or Mustang, you've probably driven with the parking brake on. Well, today we're going to fix that. Today we're putting in a Scott Drake parking sensor switch that we got from Holly. It's a pretty cool little kit that we're gonna put in, but we'll show you how it works later. First, we're going to show you where it goes. This is the parking brake. It says brake right here, so you know it's the parking brake. You pull it back like this. Oh wait, I didn't do it correctly. You pull it back.
There you go.
And it stays. And there's a little knob on the back, or not knob, there's a little post on the back that when you pull it back and when you push it back, it moves. That is going to go into our switch. Now, the switch has a little diagonal thing with a button right here, and that little like post is gonna come here and it's gonna press the button and it's gonna sit like this, so we'll know when the parking brake's off. And when I pull the parking brake out, this will connect and that will immediately put the ground in here. So that means it'll connect and it'll show that the parking brake is on. So before we install it, I kind of want to figure out how this thing actually works. I have my voltmeter set up to where when there's no connection, it reads a 1, and when there is a connection, it reads a 0. Does it read a 0?
It does. Good job.
I can't see. So we are going to see when exactly it reads 1 and when it reads 0, so that we know how this thing works.
So that's a 1 that means they're disconnected, right? So when you put it in there, all right, so that shows, so that means there is a connection. So that means that when you, because this would be when the brake was pulled, right? So this would let the current, let the ground flow.
So this is when the brake is on.
So when we put it in and it's off, it goes to 1.
It works.
Awesome.
Okay, so I know how this works now. But now we are moving on to wiring, which usually you would wire this system up to a little brake light that they include so that you can have a brake light right above your brake. But because we have a Dakota digital dash that already has a place for a brake light, we're going to just hook it up to our dash and have a little light there. But it is completely usable without the dash that I have. So now we're going to open up my dash and see how this switch will work with it. If you haven't seen the episode of us putting in this digital dash, it's really cool and gives a really cool touch to the whole car, so go see that video right here. Okay, so the brains of the whole thing is kind of right here. Sorry, it's upside down, but basically right here, there's a little brake system. That's where we're going to put our brake light. So we're just going to wire into it, and it is ground activated, I think is what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
So basically what we're thinking is if we put a wire in there and then hook it up to a ground, then we should be able to see our light go.
Just to confirm.
Just to confirm that we've done everything correctly.
I'll get you a wire.
And the strippers.
Cool. All right.
Hold it.
Oh, yeah. So go ahead and just click it. You don't have to turn it on, just click it to power. And look.
I can't see.
Easy.
Oh, that's so cool!
So it works. So when it grounds, it will turn your brake warning light on.
That's so cool!
Right?
Sorry, I'm not holding it on the ground.
No, but that's you're basically you are functioning as the switch right now.
I'm a shaky switch.
Okay, but now we know it works. So why don't you kill the power? Perfect.
Okay, now that we know that everything's working, we're just going to put it all back together and get the switch wired in.
Inside it. Yeah, there we go.
Since the wiring is all done and pretty simple, we're going to go straight into how the thing fits. So we're going to put it on and double check that the brake still works. So what I'm going to do, instead of screwing this on, I'm going to put a vice grip on it just to double check that it works, and then after that we'll screw it in.
Oh, and we'll think we'll need to pull it. So kind of look at the location of where it sits, and then we'll need to pull the brake to get it out of the way. You know what I mean? So that you can install it where it goes. Okay. Is that held on pretty tight?
Yes.
Okay. So now try to release the brake and see how it goes turning it in there. Is it too tall?
It was actually way too tall, but we didn't realize that till later. Now moving on to wiring. We got everything wired up quick enough, but then we hit a snag when plugging it in.
I hope that was it going on and not pushing it down.
That'll be fine. Oh no.
No, pushed it down.
It's okay.
On both sides, pushed them both down.
The female spade connectors that came with the kit were actually so tight that they were pushing the post down into the switch. We were able to push them down and make them work, but if you get this kit, you might want to open them up a little bit. Okay, back to that tab on the parking brake handle. You can see that when we put it down, it was still way too tall to get under the switch. And it wouldn't let the parking brake go all the way in. So we needed to get that thing shaved down. It took a while, but we finally got it cut down and rounded so that it could move in and out nicely. And then it was time for the final test. Okay, so we got the post shaved down a little bit and rounded so that it goes in nicer. But I wanted to show you what it was like fully working. So this is off, and then it's so cool. Now I will never drive with my parking brake on ever again. That's probably a lie.
And then turn it off.
It's always been stressful to wonder if I've had my brake on or not. So with this kit, I can no longer have to worry about that, and it's really nice to know. So what I'm taking out of the garage is that when you're trying to know something important, having a little reminder is not a bad thing. Thank you so much to Holly and Scott Drake for this kit. If you want one exactly like mine, check the link in the description. As always, thank you to my executive producer, Drew Carter. And if you would like to support me, there are a couple ways you can. By subscribing to Ellie's Garage, or by going to elliesgarage.com where you can find links to my Patreon and to my merch. I'll see you next time in the garage.